Well, hi campers, this is Darren with My RV Works. Welcome to another session of 10 Minutes with an RV Tech video series. Yay, yay, yay! It's during this series that we have decided as a team, I've got 4, sometimes 5 as a part-time person. We go through all the questions that come in through text messages and emails and YouTube and Yelp and Google. There's so many paths to get questions to us. And Darren himself is a working man. I don't have time to go answer all these questions and field them all, so that's why I had to have people help me. All the more reason to join our Patreon site and support us in this effort. If this is valuable to you and you like these things, just all we're asking is $5 a month on that Patreon channel, and that's the way we're going to help fund this whole effort to make it worth our time to compensate the people that are putting this whole thing together for you. So enough on that. But basically, we got some questions for you. Now, I'll spend 10 minutes. I got a timer running. I got 9 minutes left. So let's jump into as many questions as I can get through during this time. As it's spring and my nose is itching. Sorry about that. So, Doug's got a question. Doug's question is, he watched my air conditioner video, and he's got a question on that. He's got 2 RV techs told me to buy a new air conditioner after the Freon drops out. And it's not worth trying to refill them and to buy a new one. So if you're looking for a third opinion, I would absolutely say yes to that question. Now, on that, let me just mention something. On my air conditioner videos, when I'm diagnosing those videos and I'm working on those air conditioners, there comes a point in time where sometimes I can fix them, and sometimes it turns out that there's a leak in that refrigerant, and I don't fix it. And at that point in the video, I might say you need to replace the unit. And I've got a lot of comments coming back on me having said that, but I'm sorry folks, but that is the correct answer. You may not like that answer. Well, Jay, I can get up on that roof and tap into that and put me some Freon back up in there. Well, yes, you most absolutely can. But as a business, as a professional, that is not the path that I will take. There's a thing that was passed in, 87, 88, 89, somewhere up in there. It was called the Montreal Protocol, and that was a way to clean up the environment with all the ozone and all this kind of stuff. So prior to 1990, there is service manuals that I have on my website right now that will tell you the entire procedure that you need to go through to retap and refill your air conditioner if it failed and if it's lost its refrigerant. RV techs from years gone by we've had all the tools, I've got the tools to go up on that air conditioner and retap it and refill it. After the Montreal Protocol happened, all that changed. Laws came out that said that you can't do that anymore unless you can do it, unless you have the recovery equipment, unless you have the proper, there's a line from a play, I was a mass spectrographic isotopic double diathermal diaphonoscope for you little Abner fans. But you have to have licenses and all this kind of stuff. Now your HVAC techs and those contractors, they have all that kind of stuff. They have all those licenses and they have all that equipment. So they are the ones that you would take your air conditioner to and have it tapped in. Most of your RV shops, most of your RV techs, we're not going to pay all that money to get all that equipment. Now your bigger high volume shops, maybe those guys do have the equipment and the certifications and the licenses and the fees and all this other crazy stuff. But most of your shops, we're not going to deal with all that kind of stuff. Now, if we are caught tapping an air conditioner and recharging that air conditioner, I have been told it's a $10,000 fine. Personally, I would rather not pay $10,000 because I'm doing my buddy a favor and I get turned in because somebody's hiding in the trees and hiding in the bushes watching me do this, and like, oh, and from what I've heard is that person makes a $20,000 finder's fee for finding me. So basically, I've been to all the Eric Sale Coleman schools, I've been to all the Dometic schools, I've been to all the air conditioner schools, and it comes up sometimes in those classes, but never ever has any instructor ever told us to tap into that line and fix it. And if you think about it, you've got a air conditioner that has sprung a leak and all the refrigerant has failed. So step 1 is you got to find the leak and fix that. Okay. Step 2 is you got to get all your stuff back together. You got to tap the line and put that all back together again. And by the time you've done all that, now if you can't do it up on the roof, you got to take the whole air conditioner off the roof and take it down and do it in your little shop or whatever. By the time you've done all that, I would argue it's better and cheaper in the long run to get a new air conditioner and put it up on there. You get your warranty and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure I'm going to get a lot more questions, and I'll be talking about this, but I spent 5 minutes answering this question on the whole Montreal protocol and why overwhelmingly, RV shops, RV dealerships, RV techs, we are not going to tap your air conditioner. We're not going to find the leak. Are we capable of doing that? Yes, half of the guys I know have all the tools to do that. It's not a technically challenging thing to do. So it's not like we don't know what we're doing. We most definitely know what we're doing. We're professionals, but we don't want to break the law. Okay? So enough on that one. So I back up what the other two techs told you, Doug, on buying a new air conditioner. It's not worth going to jail or having a fine to tap that and fix it. So enough on that. That was a long answer. Sorry. Eric's got a question. He watched one of my refrigerator videos. Let's see here. So Eric says he's got a Norcold. It's not working on AC. So apparently it is working on LP, but it's not working on AC. And he's checked the power and the fuses on the board. So his power and he's even replaced his board. So that little control board, that lower control board on his Norcold. He's replaced the board and he's got good power. That's good 12 volts going to the thing. He's checked his fuses and he's still having issues on that. So refrigerator's not working on AC. You got good AC going to it. Good fuses going to it. Good 12 volts going to it. Everything's good. Still not working. Eric, the first thing I would do is I would ohm out my heating element. The heating element would be the thing that I would think would be suspicious. The other thing that it could have been was the relay on the control board that controls that heating element, but you said you put a new one on there. So but another thing it could be is the eyebrow board, the upper board. So I've got a video on that, and that's probably the one you watched. You probably watched that video. But so it could be one of three things that I'm thinking of. One, the upper eyebrow board is not communicating. Even though you put it on AC, the circuit that tells it to go on AC down to the lower board is not making that path. The second thing it could be is your heating element is not correct. And the way you do that is you ohm out the heating element. How do you know how many ohms? And the third thing is the board, but you've already replaced the board. That would be the relay on the board. So of the two, it's either the eyebrow board, upper board, or it's the lower board. Now, to diagnose your upper board, you need the schematic. You have a Norcold? Yeah, you need the schematic on that. On my website, I have a lot. There's also a couple other websites out there that have Norcold schematics. You need your model number and your serial number. Model number and serial number. Serial number is very, very important. That these Norcolds have been out for a long time. I don't know if you have a 1200 or 8. I don't know which one you have there. You need the schematic, and that'll tell you which wires. So when you put it on AC up in the eyebrow board, it's communicating to the lower board. You need to make sure that that part's working correctly, okay? But for your heating element, that's low-hanging fruit, easy to check. You need to know the wattage that your heating element is. I don't know if it's 1,300 watts or 850 watts or 21.1 gigawatts. I don't know. But the schematic will tell you that. Your manual will tell you that. But you need to determine that, you need your model number, serial number. I used to do Ohm's Law the old long-fashioned way, but now I got an app that you just punch in your like two knowns and do calculate, and it calculates your Ohm's Law and tells you. It's wonderful. It's great. I'm sure the App Store and Play Store has an Ohm's Law app. I use it all the time. But you run your numbers. You're going to be 120 volts for that, and you need to know your wattage. And that is either off, there's a stamp on the heating element, or that is going to be off of your manual. I would use the manual spec one because the heating element may not, what we've run into before is other technicians have just put the wrong heating element in. And so what happens is when they do that, then the next guy that comes along, they pull it out like, oh yeah, I got one of those, and they put it back in. But you need to go back to the specification of what that refrigerator manufacturer recommended for that. So that's why I go back to the spec on that. But check your heating element with ohms. Bam. If you do need to replace your heating element, make sure it's the exact right one. Same wattage, same length, same diameter. You don't want it to be loose in that tube. It needs to be taut, nice, perfect slot. So, wow, I think I only got 2 questions answered this time. But if this was helpful to you, thumb up the video, subscribe to our channel. Happy Camper Say My RV Works, and check us out on Patreon. It helps. Okay, so this is Darren from RV Works signing off until the next video.